Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everyone. I want to talk to you about something that is important in the professional and personal life of your growth. Okay, it may have something to do with managing your emotions, but I'm going to get deeper into this. During business presentation, conversations, all understanding to that need to be open, right? So that is very important. And when you can recognize your emotions and regulate them to an ultimate level of controlling them, you breathe. And how you mediate your breath, even during conflicts or difficult situations, recognizing our breath, right? So the means of being aware of how we are communicating is so important. You can have an understanding for your own self-breath, and you can have an understanding when you're speaking in power to others. Even if someone in your personal life or so happen to be, in the lunch break room, okay, for example, and they insult you, you can use your light energy, light as a feather, relax your light and transfer your energy away from the toxic, words or whatever has tried to come inside you, your emotions, your heart, your mind. It's very crucial that you process things a certain way because it allows you to address and deal with your own emotions and also deal with someone's sneak remark effectively. Okay, so I would like to show you, I'm going to show you guys something about people, okay, and also maybe with your own breath, okay? So you care for yourself, right? And you want to care for your presentation. So there could be something going on to where you're having a conversation in your personal life and somebody just butt in and they're rude. Or you could be dealing with a narcissist person. I use repetition and reconfirmation, and I keep getting this tickle in my throat. Hold on. I always say, yes, that too. I'm speaking. But repetition is a focus. So we have to reconfirm ourselves, the responses in confirmation. Like, you just said, or what did you mean by that? Repeat what they said, Let's talk clarity. I give second chances in order to make sure that a person didn't mean to be difficult. And in the frame of that, I look at my mind frame and I want to reconfirm repetition because different people, different attitudes, different personalities. So you want to make sure that a person is in the right state of mind, the right frame of mind, okay? So what you do is this. It's a 4-second breath, and then it's another breath, and then it's a relaxation. 4-second breath, another breath, and a relaxation. So it goes like this. Okay, now to demonstrate it, okay, is like this. So it's in 4 seconds, another breath in, fully exhale out the mouth. That's putting yourself in the right frame of mind. The 4-second breath, the breath in 4 seconds, and then another one. Okay, that's the top breath. Okay, and it's a full exhale to relaxation. But the practice is working with someone so you can learn how to do it without even showing it. This is for your presentations. This is especially to avoid triggers, okay? So dealing with certain things like, okay, let me go to a certain point. Liars, for example, you have to control yourself. And when you want to prepare yourself, you try to curve those positions to fail. You want to try to curve away from fight or flight. That is so important. You want to pause, because pausing is not being absent, okay? Communication. It is a difference when someone says, I love you, and wait. That's a difference from when you ask, where were you last night? Where were you today? And the pause comes. That means something totally different. When you add silence, you are giving opportunity for the person to reframe from saying something stupid, all right? Or confirming that it's a lie, the liar, because liars have conversation in their head for you instead of arguing that that's not true, okay? You can remember and be engaged, because silence is not engaging in confusion. And you can repeat and remember the first response from what the person is saying to avoid any stress. And even if the liar keeps lying, they're trying to control you, but you are controlling your clarity, okay? So the pause, the wait, it is power, okay? For you to think, for you to slow down, for you to have power in your silence, to be quiet. The liar can have a conversation without you, and you can promote your narrative, okay? Your narrative, to put some pieces together like a puzzle, okay? So together, where we are talking clarity, you stay in control and never cry out, okay, or act out. Never sweat at your presentation, okay, because it's about being exceptional, right? When doing even presentation, your delivery. Once you have recognized all axles of your starship, okay, it is about not giving to someone who is difficult, who is rude, who is manipulating a situation. It is not being restricted in competition. You can push back, okay, if someone's on top of you, so you can present yourself in a way that is very good for your own emotions, right? Because you never want, I'm going to get into something. So use the use the concepts that show you the different feelings and be unbothered, okay? That unbothered state of mind is some real work, okay? From those who have something to hide, okay? Sabotage, you need proof, okay? People want proof if they can prove if they're better than you, okay? So, getting the dynamics from a higher state frame of mind, because we have integrity and who you are. We're wonderfully made. Okay, so hang in there, because telling your story and what truly matters is like a work of art. Okay, and your voice is an instrument. How do you persuade someone even when you're vulnerable? It can be a relief, and we must regulate our emotions and show proof by the demand over the insanity, okay? That overpours in your glass, that people overpour on people, because you have to understand, if we had $1 when we see things what liars do, or emotional birds, people who can't listen, who need to be sold, who's trying to buy something, but you're wanting to sell something and develop good relationship, and that's priceless, or that's worth what you're gonna get, your values, okay, your build, okay, because it is so important to bridge trust, and that's worth something, okay. Okay, to be extra rich, you have to give richness. You know what I'm saying? Hearing and rich, to be ready to do the work, the repetition, and to learn how to not even be seen with that breath. Okay, it's a safe box. Okay, because we pitch ideas and can come up with serving each other, even when we can do it with flaws. So this means having fun, finding ways to calm ourselves down and maintain control, okay? Defend yourself, defend others and your teams, okay? You deserve to do what you're trying to do without the headache and without the pain, okay? Instead of standing by and being in pain, you want to watch the sheet and the pages turn. And whatever goes wrong, or whatever someone or whatever you're dealing with, about people who say, oh, I could do better than you, or do something to sabotage or anything, you know, it's about your feeling. Even when you think to yourself, I could have did better. Okay? So you want to be away from the high stress. It won't mean that you won't be in the high stress situations. But an argument, let me tell you, I got a jewel for you, okay? All right. What my sessions does, you end up never trying to win an argument. No, I repeat that, okay? You don't try to win an argument. I repeat that. Love is life. We have the position to not engage and stay shifting all over the place. Even dealing with people who don't even like you. Okay, I know there's people that may not like me, but deep breathing is my thing. Okay, and it can be yours too. You have to position self-talk and mindfulness. These are all effective techniques for regulating our emotions, okay? You have to wax on and wax off and build perimeters around people and yourself, okay? Even when you don't like them. Because if you argue with a fool, okay, the onlookers, when there's an argument going on, they won't know which one is the fool and which one is. So don't give no one a reason to affect your integrity, okay? Your communication, okay? Because I can't even say it. Ambivalent people, okay? Excuse my accent. Ambivalent people, you know, it's always looking for, I don't want to say it, they're always looking for an enemy. They're always looking for an enemy. We can crush their bad behaviors with kindness and sweetness, okay, with smoothness, gentlemen, that bravado, neutral. So by controlling your emotions is where the real work lays, even when somebody is lying, okay? So this means taking time to understand your triggers or understand others and find the healthy ways to deal with different tides of life, different tides of personalities, energy, frequency, okay? Because you want to maintain your level-headedness and professional demeanor during any period of somebody, and mainly to have good outcomes. Even when it could be you're dealing with some bad information and you feel yourself getting worked up, you want to be phenomenal always, okay? So even with the flip of the coin, you may have been phenomenal yesterday. Different situation, different person. Okay? So even when things may not go as planned, there's a conclusion that I'm making for you. Recognizing, regulating, and controlling. Recognizing, regulating, and controlling the emotions, your emotions, to have power at a peace table, okay? We can become better versions of ourselves to encourage people, okay, to feed energy, to take it away, or give energy to pivot, okay? Because business is business, right? And what you invest in as far as your vested sense and your truth and your productive activities, it excels you with your sense, your coins, your money, your abundance, okay? However you want to call it. So let's work on managing our emotions. You can sign up with me. You can find ways to communicate with me. We can go over this on an inclusive level, the one-on-ones. I'm giving right now. I've dropped jewels in here. You can practice tonight. You can practice right now, okay? Just rewind the video, okay? Because both, okay, in, home, out of the office. I'm going to do it one more time, okay? You take that 4-second breath, top it up, and fully relax. That is the drama behind that. But let me show you how to do it without showing all that. You take a deep breath in, and you top it off, and you fully relax. And you can do it without even, because you're pausing, you're reserving your presentation. The silence is not being in the conversation. It is to make things have a better outcome. I am Empress Deirdre, your brief therapy therapist, okay? Brief solutions, brief therapy. That is a demonstration. Thank you. Let's talk clarity. And thank you for your support. And I'm looking forward to any questions you will have.